Erica, it certainly epitomizes the legacy of caring at Austin Elementary School. She is very creative, organized, and very passionate about teaching and learning. It's evident that she gives great attention to detail when planning her lessons and that she makes adjustments according to the students' needs. And of course, the result is high student engagement, ownership, and success in their learning. In addition to being an excellent teacher on the campus, she also serves as team leader and as a mentor for new teachers. And she's highly committed to both of those responsibilities, and she wants to make sure that her team is successful as well as the new teachers that come on our campus. She's a perfect role model, and she's truly an asset to Austin Elementary School.
Andrea is a leader on our campus, not just for her team, but for our entire campus. She's a leader in her classroom with her students. She's always involved in any activity that we have, and she's willing to lead, facilitate, support whatever is needed in that aspect to make our campus successful. She is an advocate for children. She loves them, she sees their needs, she embraces them, she's passionate about what she does. She is an excellent teacher, but she advocates for them to make sure that all of their needs are met, that they're getting the services that they need, and just doing everything that she can to ensure their success. She's passionate about it, and it shows. Her positive attitude is something that people just take from her and just move forward. She's always willing to learn and is just a great teacher and an inspiration to her fellow teachers.
Latay Franklin is our Teacher of the Year for Birdwell Elementary School. She is an exceptional master teacher who loves her children thoroughly. She moved from Head Start to kindergarten on our campus, and she has fun with them, she laughs with them, she sings and does chants with them, and she is just a real special kindergarten teacher. And during her circle time, her carpet time in the mornings, she is sitting at the front with her pointer in her hand, and the children are giving her answers for the calendar or a poem they've read or something like that. And they just will come out with, their cute little responses as kindergartners do. And she'll just smile and she'll say, "Oh, that is such a special thought. Thank you so much for sharing." And then the child just starts smiling and grinning, and they just love it, and everybody gives them a pat on the back. And it's just one of the things that she just encourages them for everything they do.
Daryl Broughton has been a teacher for many years. She's a veteran teacher, and there are many things that make her special. I think one thing that I would have to say about her is that she is the consummate teacher. She teaches all day at the elementary campus for us, for K through 5. She works with children all day, but then she continues to be a teacher outside of school. One of the gifts that Mrs. Broughton brings to both the school and the community is the way that she projects her pride and her self-confidence, and it's almost like a ministry to her to project that so that others have an opportunity to develop their own pride and their self-confidence. And I think that she greets everyone with a smile and a positive attitude, and it's contagious, and you give that back to her. And I think that's a real gift.
Brenda has been with both Shears and St. Louis for a long time, and she's always had the respect of her peers. But I think the things that makes her so special is she just gets so involved with her kiddos. She is always excited to show you what's going on in her room. She's one of those rooms I can take a visitor in anytime with no notice, and she'll say, "Oh, look what we're doing today." And you just know that she's always going to be there working with kids, being creative and individual with them. Several years ago, she had been to a workshop, heard about Lily Nielsen and what's called a HOPSA. And it's kind of a harness, a lot like a Johnny jump up, but it supports the trunk of the children, and you hang it from the ceiling. So she wanted to try this young man in that to see if she could get him to maybe move a little bit. Well, by the end of the year, she said, come see, I want you to come see what's going on in my classroom. So I go down there, and they had him up in the HOPSA. And this is a kiddo that can't even sit alone. He's walking across the room. They had a soccer ball, and he is playing soccer and able to kick the soccer ball all across the room. And this is a child that cannot stand, cannot sit, really can't even turn himself over. But in that, and with her working with him, he was able to play soccer and kick the ball across the room. So, and yeah, that just still makes me smile.
Ms. Barroso has done an excellent job coming onto our campus of just getting involved, getting to get known by our teachers. She's really an excellent example of a shining star. She's professional and collaborative, really well respected by her peers. It is a daily, every day, every moment thing for her to connect with her students. You walk into her classroom in the morning as the students come in, she greets the kids at the door. When you walk into her classroom at any point during the day, she is always interacting with her children. It's a fun and a safe environment. The students just love being there. So again, it's just something that permeates the very thread of who she is. She is just very specific in what she does. She's very professional in every aspect of what she does, but that doesn't mean that she's boring and plain. She uses that and brings in her creativity to take that, the information that she knows, to make it something truly excellent.
The Teacher of the Year at Clarkston Elementary is Carrie Olhausen. And all the children, they refer to her as Miss O. She clearly possesses an amazing gift to teach the deaf and hard of hearing, well, really, all children. She has a very special way of just capturing those relevant and meaningful moments in learning, in both instruction and as well in conversation, just in the hallway. She is quick to volunteer and to serve in a variety of different committees and services to support the campus, as well as the deaf school community. Her friends and colleagues, they would just simply say that she lights up the room with her cheerful voice and just her passion for teaching.
What's very special about Ms. Gonzalez is that she really understands before she can achieve any kind of academic success, she has to build that safe environment. And so she really spends a lot of time building that relationships with all of her students, just in the initially beginning to just saying, you know what, I care about you, every single student counting her classroom. And so from that moment on, I remember what I admire her the most is that when she's faced with a challenge, it could be a student exhibiting poor behavior or a parent, a child who is struggling with academic. And she just really looks at every single one of them differently, and she is able to tackle each problem. She never gives up, and she thinks about just win-win situation. And so she's open to anybody's suggestion and looking for just a better solution. So I really admire her about that.
Ashley is so special. She has a rapport with children. She believes in Douglas. She believes in Douglas enough that she brings her own children there. And she just really feels those extra needs in science. Lots of hands-on. And she makes it exciting. You go in there and you're going to see something really exciting for the kids. The teachers, they just comment on how she's touched lessons that they didn't think about. She just makes it really real for them. She brings tenacity. She brings caring for our kids, and she brings knowledge, very knowledgeable of the concepts of science. Smart young lady.
Mrs. Whaley is a very dedicated teacher who has a lot of passion for what she does. Her desire is to see every single child successful in her classroom. And she makes that happen by creating an interest in science. Her lessons are very engaging, very hands-on, and the children leave with lots of questions about science and an interest and hopefully a desire to learn science for the rest of their life. She is such a self-starter. If she sees something that needs to be done, she just does it. She does not have to be asked. In fact, she's constantly coming to me with new and innovative ideas. Can I do this? Can I do this? What do you think about this? So she is one who is just a go-getter, and she does whatever she can to help students to be successful.
Miss Phillips is a third grade teacher at Jack Elementary, and she is just one of those type of teachers that just brings out the sparkle in her students. They just relate to her, she relates to them, she finds a relationship with each and every one of them and makes a special connection with them. And because of that, they succeed to high levels of achievement. She has been a part of our campus team since the beginning. When we opened Jack, Miss Phillips came on board, and ever since she's been one of those leaders on our campus that just leads by example. She's just a teacher that peers respect and admire and want to be like her. She just has a unique gift of building that relationship with students and bringing out their very, very best in all of them.
Whitney Lamont is a fourth-year teacher on our campus. She's taught kindergarten for 4 years. When Whitney first came to us as a brand new teacher, no one could tell that she was in her first year of teaching. I think that truly is a gift that she brings. She is a natural teacher. She connects with children. She just has a dignity about herself, about her classroom. Even when a child makes a mistake, the classroom management style that she chooses to use is done with such dignity and such eloquence. And she gets her point across, but it's in a very loving, very nurturing, we're going to correct this wrong kind of a way.
Miss Embria Williams is a remarkable teacher, and I believe the main reasons is because she is a remarkable mother, wife, grandmother, neighbor, and community member. She is one that shows constantly that she cares for her children. And as a matter of fact, last week I observed her welcoming a new student to her classroom, and she leaned forward and stretched her hand, and she said to the child, "Welcome to Mrs. Williams' class, where we make good choices." And she's able to make that connection not only with her kids, but with other students around campus. So I am very happy that our staff and community nominated her, because she really shows that that she is that, not only that teacher, but that neighbor, that community member, that mother and wife and grandmother that really cares for all the children of ISD, and especially her third grade classroom.
The thing that I like about Regina is that she is a strong person with a love for children and for teaching that children respond to. She has a very strong faith, and I think that is her foundation that allows her to reach children. There have been times when I've walked in her room and I'll watch her working independently with a student and that is struggling, and she makes them feel like they are the most important person at that moment. And to her they are, and to them they just eat it up. She is one of those people, she just is honest, she is caring, and she loves what she's doing.
Really what characterizes Mrs. Lewis is her warmth and kindness. She's so compassionate for her children and just does such a great job in the classroom. She's energetic. She comes to school eager to work with her kids, eager to collaborate with her peers, and that she just, that energy overflows, and you can see it in the faces of her children. Watching her interact with her students, and even sometimes the ability to care for a child who's particularly timid or is struggling, that's when she really shines. She knows how to calm a child and get them to participate and just draw them in a way that is very unique.
When I reflect on Mrs. Elmicus, I think of the old adage of good, better, best. Never let it rest until good becomes better and better best. Ms. Elmicus gives her very best every day to her students, and in turn, she gets the very best from them. It's not uncommon to go into Ms. Elmicus' classroom and hear little squeals of laughter and little squeals coming from students, because they have that aha kind of learning moment, and you can hear that and you can see that in the classroom. And it's a joy to watch, because her students are students who struggle from time to time, but they feel so good about it, and she makes them feel so good about learning and when they experience that moment or that aha learning moment.
Well, my teacher of the year is Vicki Mosley, and Vicki has a quiet strength that I really believe comes from her deep-seated faith in God. And if you see her in the classroom, she's not quiet. She's very vibrant, she's energetic, she does a lot of cheers and chants with her class. When you walk down the hall, you can hear her say, "I'm ready to teach," and the kids are saying, "I'm ready to learn, I'm ready to teach, I'm ready to learn." She makes learning very, very exciting for her kids. She really tries to make it fun. She does a lot of out-of-the-box thinking on her activities, and she tries to make them hands-on. And even though I said she has a quiet strength, she's very well respected on the faculty. They love her. They see the great things she's doing with her class. She also teaches her students respect, and you see that wherever they are on campus. They're the class that is always wonderfully behaved.
Well, Teresa Moore, our Teacher of the Year for St. Louis Early Childhood Center, is very special. She brings a caring attitude to the classroom every day. She reaches out to her students and addresses all of their needs, not just academic, but she addresses their social emotional needs, their cognitive needs, just anything that she needs to focus on for her children. Her voice is always calm and caring, and that stood out to me because as the children were all trying to talk at the same time, while she didn't ignore any of them, she took the time to recognize them, talk with them, and then bring them back to the activity or the lesson and re-engage them. So her patience is just stellar.
The teachers at Target chose Aurelia Hood because she's a woman who can be respected, not only as an educator in the classroom, but also as a woman outside the classroom. As an educator, she loves her children and she fights for her kids. As a woman outside the classroom, she loves her family, all of her children, her 4 grandkids, her mom, her dad, her husband Buster. She goes above and beyond for her kids in the classroom. She teaches them government and law and gets them ready if they were going to go into law school later in life. She looks for little suits and ties for them to, when they go, they're going to prosecute Goldilocks and put her on trial, and so she goes to find it the most authentic experience that they will ever have, short of being in law school or being in college later in life. She fights with all her might for the kids and for herself, and Aurelia has more hope in what will be than anybody I know.
Erica Miller is special because she's dedicated. I mean, she's been a part of the Andy Woods community for several years. So she knows the kids, you know, not only in school but outside of the school. She's the science teacher on the campus, so she gets to work with pretty much every child on the campus. And I've observed her working with mainly our 4th and 5th graders. Those are the students she sees most often. And when they're doing the hands-on experiments, and she's just right there with them, encouraging them, you know, just giving them kudos, whatever she needs to do to get them to be successful. She lets them take risks, and you know, she validates them tremendously. And I just think, you know, she really is a value part of the campus, and the kids really do love her because they know she's going to be supportive, she's going to help them, but at the same time, let them take the risks.
Our campus teacher of the year is Miss Shell Grayson. She's our 6th grade language arts teacher. She also coaches, and she is a rock star. She is a rock star teacher. She builds great relationships with kids. She knows her content. She has an amazing work ethic. Her kids love her. They tell me constantly that she's one of their favorite teachers. And when you go into her classroom, she's always interacting with every student every day. She has a smile on her face, always. She is a great example on the field with basketball and volleyball coaching. She shows that she cares very deeply about her students, and they respond and they perform for her. I think it's just an awesome thing to watch her interact with kids, because every day I see something that I smile at with Miss Grayson. She is just an exemplary teacher, and I feel like she's going to represent us really well.
He's one of those individuals that personifies being a professional. He's at work on time all the time, but even more than that, you can tell that he has genuine interest for the students, for his fellow colleagues, very collegial individual, and someone who works and brings his very best to every day. He's someone who is willing to learn. Often in our profession, we can have individuals who feel that if they have a degree, that means they've already reached the extent of their learning. And it takes a lot, particularly in this environment in today's time, to be willing to change and to try out different things, to be a risk taker. And Aubrey is definitely someone who's willing to take risks in the classroom for the sake of our students.
When I think about Lacey, I think about her smile and how it's contagious. Things that come to mind is times that I've seen her in the hallway or seen her in the classroom working with a student, are the times that she's come to me concerned about a student and looking for ideas or even proposing ideas to assist that student. By coming to me and showing that ownership and that commitment to that student speaks volumes. She loves what she does. There are students that are in choir that cannot sing and don't even really care to sing, but they're in there because of Lacey and what she does in the classroom. It's just when you walk in that classroom, it comes alive. You want to be a part of it. Kids talk about being in choir, you know, they want to be a part of choir because of Miss Reed.
Ms. Holzbauer is our, she teaches 8th grade language arts, our GT students. One of the characteristics that really sets Ms. Holzbauer apart as Teacher of the Year is not that she's competent, which she is, very good teacher, very professional, always willing to help her peers, great team player, but that she is about students. She teaches students. When she walks in the classroom, she's prepared to not only deliver instruction, but to teach kids. Whatever they need, however they need it, she's ready to provide that for them in the classroom. She's in the moment. You know, when she's teaching kids, she's right there with them. She's about what they're needing and what she can do to help them.
short time I've been here and gotten to know Elgin, he's a very professional individual. He's well liked by his students. He has the innate ability to build relationships with his students and very well respected amongst our faculty. At the sports banquet, at the football banquet that we had just a couple of months ago, each one of the position coaches has an opportunity to come up and speak about the athletes that they work with. And you could just see the look in his eye and just the tone of his voice, the way he talked about each one of those student athletes and the relationship that he had developed. And he even shared a story at the end to relate, the student athletes that he was working with his own children. And you could see it, you could feel it, and just the love that they had, and that was just very special.
Our Teacher of the Year candidate is Kathy Miles. She's a 7th grade teacher. She's in her, I believe, her 7th year teaching at Moore, 10 years teaching overall, and she's a dynamo. She's a lot of fun to watch. She's the type of teacher that just glows. A lot of people have natural beauty in that they just talk and they smile while they're talking, and it just, you can like see into her soul, and she is so passionate about what she does. She's just a delight to see because the kids love her. She has the rapport with the kids. She's there because she truly wants to be there, and she's one of their favorite teachers, hands down.
I've known Gary for a long time. He loves kids. He has a passion for what he does. Every day he comes with a positive attitude, trying to make a difference with our kids. I've been in his room several times, and he's not just a sit at your desk, do this worksheet type teacher. He is sitting with the kids, and there have been several occasions where he's right there in the middle of the classroom, not necessarily just giving kids information, but he's talking to them, trying to teach them economics, teach them about government so they can understand. So when they leave here, they leave high school, they can become productive citizens. So he's really trying to make a difference by teaching the kids their role after high school as far as government, as far as our society is concerned.
When Ms. Devers first came to us, she came at a very crucial time in her life when her father was passing. I remember this young lady because her family is so strong and so close. They kept her there at school and said, there's no need for you to come. And I had a hard time understanding that, and she stayed there with her students. She had a choice, and she stayed because she knew that her mother and her sisters and her brothers and nephews, they all had things under control. That's when I knew I had someone strong. Her students are her babies. She's just like a parent. She talks to them faithfully about the importance of their education. She talks to them about what they need to do. She's just an awesome young lady who has the mathematical abilities to do everything that's needed for the students that she's serving.
For the last 3 years, I have supervised her as the math instructional coach, and she is phenomenal. She came in pretty much, jumped off the boat running, I guess you could say. This was kind of her first year, 3 years ago, in the, actually teaching in the classroom, and she has blossomed. We are a tight-knit family in the math team, and she is the leader of the Algebra 2 team. So they work together as a team in our PLCs. She leads them well. It's a wonderful team, and they respect her in that regard. She does so many creative things in the classroom. Many of them take their time out on their off periods or their regular conference periods to go watch her, to see how she's doing certain activities in her classroom so that they can make sure that they're perfecting it also. So they look up to her well.